Geeks Gone Raw.
But yeah, because we always started Leviathan, and then like it just we could never get past our like schedules and whatnot. And but yeah, after Osiris came out, I kind of quit for a while because that's when my second son was born, and I just couldn't do a game. I couldn't pause for a while, and then I would come back for a little bit, and then kind of. But I would play like the content, but not enough to like really dig my teeth into the grind and stuff to figure out what guns I like and what's the meta and all that kind of stuff. But I'm thinking about doing that now since when Beyond Light comes out, it's kind of going to wipe things. It's basically going to be Destiny 3.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I can't wait. I'm sad I got to wait longer till November instead of September.
Yeah. But then that gave me a time where I was like, there's all this stuff I haven't done yet. Now I definitely have time to do it because it's all the way until November.
Get the stuff done on the destinations that are going away. So do Leviathan if you want to do it because it's going away.
Yeah. And I heard that a lot of that stuff is like they've like opened it up free reign to where you can just get rewards or whatever. There's no reset. You can just do it.
There's not like a one per character. You could just keep on running through it. Yeah, getting the reward like it was the first time.
Right. So that's gonna be cool. Because I got with Will and them, like Pantless Steve and Will from I can't remember their podcast. The Geeks for the Win, I think.
Oh, that Will. Geek Will.
Yeah, I believe it's called Will I Play Games. Isn't that his thing?
Oh, it was Geek William, or was it Geek William for a little bit?
It was Geeky William, but I thought when I added it was the Will I Play Games or something. But I might be thinking, because there's a lot of people named Will, so, especially in this community.
Yeah, there's a lot of Mikes too. I mean, just in all walks of life, there's too many people named Michael. Like I can't stand it. I hate my name. Can't stand it. That's why, like, here, y'all, most people just call me Scar, and I'm okay with that because I hate being Mike. It's bothered me my whole life, and it's always like, here's the problem with having a very common name. It's always the little badass kid that has your name. So like the mom is like yelling at them over and over again in fucking Walmart, like, you know what I mean?
And you're like, what did I do? I ain't done nothing. Mike, damn it, Mike.
Like, you know that? Like, there's two people in my life that actually call me Michael. Like the rest of people, they call me Mike, or you know, the family nickname that I have. But like, there's two people in my life that call me Michael, and every time someone says Michael, I think I'm in trouble. So yeah, it's just crazy. Are we officially starting?
Well, I started recording. I don't know if we're going to keep what. I mean, yeah, it seems like a good little conversation starter. Kind of rolling. Because when guests are on, we kind of do rolling starts because, you know, a little bit more informal when guests are on, I think. And I think that's good.
All guests.
Yeah.
I should have waited to be on till when Rashani was on so we could have done the Sacramento connection. In full force.
Do y'all still live? Do you still work right around the corner from where he lives? Because I know he got that house.
So I work at I changed Costco's. It's like 5 miles down the road, and where his son sometimes practices outside, that park is basically down the street from where I live.
Yeah, that's kind of cool, but also kind of creepy. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where it's just like, yeah. And that happened to me with one of the homies. I can't remember his name right now. I know he's on my Xbox list. He plays a ton of Warframe. And he's about that Warframe life. But like, having a conversation and being in like a game night with him, and then he started talking a little bit about where he's from, and I'm just kind of like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Like, and apparently he lived in Hampton, which, I mean, I left Hampton, but like, apparently he lived right there. So like, it could have been a cool fucking thing, if we had gotten closer. Through all of this stuff, we could have did a in-person podcast. In-person podcasts are always like super fucking dope.
Yeah.
And just it's kind of weird that the one time that I went to Chase's house, we didn't do an actual podcast. We played games, of course, but we didn't actually do a podcast. And then, Chase's like short. So like, and we never even got a picture. I wanted people to see how short Chase was.
Yeah, we played a ton of games. It was Extra Life, so it's like mostly playing games. I mean, sometimes we just had the stream going with the camera on, and we were just like eating and shit. But it was mostly. We got too much in the moment to like think of the things to remember the moment.
Right. Mm-hmm. I think it's one of those things to where it's like the next time that we meet up, we have to allot time for that. Yeah. I think. But it was just really cool, except for the fact that how short Chase is. Like, fuck, dude, he's so short. He's really short. Like, how tall are you, Chase?
5'8".
5'8".
It's not the shortest ever.
Compared to like, like how you listen to people and like you and like these people that you've known online for like years, like Ace Black. Ace Black is tiny, like. You know what I mean? He doesn't sound like it because he has that very bassy voice and all this kind of stuff. But in real life, he looks like miniature Sticky Fingers. Like, he's just like, I don't know how tall Sticky Fingers is in real life, but he kind of looks like Sticky Fingers to me. But then he look like he looks like Sticky Fingers the way that Kirk Franklin looks like Plies, but he looks like the saved version of Plies. he was like the same version of Sticky Fingers.
Jesus got to him before he hit that the grill master.
Exactly.
Get them gold fronts.
Right.
Like, I've met Phoenix in person, and he's just a smidge taller than me, maybe about the same height. Yeah, he's probably taller than what he looks. Yeah,
Phoenix is really tall. Like, he's much taller than you think he is.
Paris, pretty tall. He's about 6'3", 6'4".
I don't think I've ever met Paris.
I've met him twice.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, y'all both in California, even though like California is a big fucking place.
That's what people on the East Coast don't understand, and I don't understand how close it is on the East Coast. Like, it's a 2-hour train ride pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, for the East Coast,
it's like California, like 2 cities in California is like, oh, you live on the East Coast and you're like in North Carolina. You're like, so you're like right around the corner from so and so from New York. That's basically like what people say in California.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's like, it takes me it took me like 2.5 hours to get to you from here, Chase.
Yeah,
and I mean, that was nothing. Like, that was. I spent most of that drive listening to marching band music. Like, that's like, I ain't even had to change my playlist. But it was also that was the day after a major marching band battle that I really wanted to go to, but I couldn't. So like I downloaded that stuff because I have YouTube Premium, so I could just download YouTube videos. And I just basically listened to that pretty much the whole way.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. So let's get her really done. Let's get her done. Welcome everybody. This is Scarcasm. I'm Scarfinger. Chase is in the building.
Yep.
And we are in August, where each of the weeks, like we are going weekly for August, and we're going to have a guest each week. And today we have one of the two patrons, one of the two GGR Universe patrons, Mr. Flexing on him, Cam Rock himself.
What's going on, everybody?
How are things, dog? Like we don't really get to speak very often. How's life? I mean, I know I said I was gonna wait to ask you about this, but like you're a father.
Yes.
And that
big old boy.
That is a completely that's some new shit. Like when you're a father for the first time, I mean, because I got a 12-year-old. Chase has a couple.
Yeah.
How old are both of yours?
12 and 2.
12 and 2. See? 12 and 2. That sounds like, what's that? It almost sounds like where you should put your hands on the steering wheel.
Yeah. That's 10 and 2.
I know.
You're like thinking.
I mean, overhand grip, though. 12 and 2.
Yeah.
So like, how has that adjustment been of like, like the becoming of like, I was all of these things before now, but now I'm dad and all of that.
For me, it was, I never wanted to have kids before I had them. And, because I always felt like once I became a dad, it was going to be sort of over for me as Cameron. I was going to stop being Cameron and just be this kid's dad. And now it's like, I'm cool with that. I'm good just being Froggy's dad. It's every day just looking back at pictures and videos and seeing what he couldn't do to see what he can do now. And just, I never thought he'd be able to do this, walk, run, say alphabet, stuff like that. Call me dad, call me daddy, and talk back. Oh boy. It's been exciting and scary. And like, man, I forget who said it, but somebody was talking about having kids is like wearing your heart on the outside of your body. And that's sort of what it's like. You just I want to watch him like a hawk and make sure he doesn't get hurt, but know that you kind of get a little hurt to get that toughness. So yeah. It's been good. It's been really, really rewarding.
Fatherhood was scary for me. Like, it was so scary for me. I don't know if it's like this for everybody, but I was just like, yo, I'm afraid of doing something wrong to like really fuck this person up. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, this is now officially my person. Like, you feel that way about your spouse or your girl or whatever like that. Like this is my person. But like, no, with your child, that is really your person. And like, like I was just really scared that I would do something that would like really like that, the idea that if I make a mistake, I could scar this person for life.
Mm-hmm. It's real fear, very real fear. But my parents are so crazy, especially my mom, that I just felt if I could bounce back and I'm sensitive, I'm sure he'll be tougher than me. And I'm not going to try and go after him like they went after me.
Yeah, but me having a girl, which is kind of different than the rest of y'all.
Yes.
And the idea that I tried to be different, especially in the later years. I tried to be different in my approach to how I approach situations with her, because like from a I'm a grown ass man. Like, I don't really understand what it's like to get your period for the first time. Mm-hmm. And like, I don't understand to have real boobs. Now I got man boobs, which is a completely different situation, but I don't understand like bras. Like, I probably could have a bra, but I'm not going to do that. So I don't really, like trying to, it was a lot more of me like trying to understand these things, than I ever thought that I would. In this type of situation. But like, the best thing that ever happened to me is Pooh Bear basically becoming me. You know, like she's a female me with good hair. Like that's basically what Pooh Bear is. Like her personality. Now she gets her sensitivity from her mom, but the rest of her very abrasive sometimes personality is 100% mine. There are some things that she'll say, and I'm just kind of like, shit, I would have said that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just, you know, we were having a conversation about her sleep schedule because, you know, because of COVID and all, like, and not being in school and stuff like that, her sleep schedule is like way off. Like she go to bed sometimes 3-4 o'clock in the morning and then like sleep all day. And I was just like, yeah, I'm like that, you know, when I'm not working and stuff like that. If I'm working, if I'm not working for an extended period of time. And then like we were having a conversation and I was talking to her and I was calling her lazy. And she was like, she said, and this is something that I would say. She was like, I'm not lazy, I'm unemployed.
Oh shoot.
And so like that, okay, so that leads us to another part of the conversation that I had with my daughter. All right, so like I said before, my daughter and I, we were taking walks and stuff like that, and we would talk a lot, and there's a lot about life and all that kind of stuff. And one of the things that I thought that I would do different than my dad is I would talk to her a lot about how I feel about things, because that's one of the things that I missed from my dad. Like he told me a little bit about his life, but I never knew how he felt about things. And I'm like brutally honest with my child. And some people say that I'm a little bit too honest, because like I had the conversation like, yo, I didn't necessarily want to have a kid. I just wanted the sex. Like you just happened. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's all I really wanted. You know what I mean? I didn't really want to, you know, after everything that happened prior to her, like I didn't know if I really wanted to try again.
Right.
For those who don't know, Pooh Bear is child number 4. You know, like there was mishaps and other things. So I was just like, yo, I didn't really want to try again. I just wanted to have the sex, and you just kind of happened as a result. Like that's, you know, I guess that's on me. Like maybe I should have been, maybe I should have been something different. But like I didn't know if I really wanted to be this. And so we were having a conversation, and we were talking about singing. Because we've been playing, we had been, she went back yesterday. We had been playing a little bit of Rock Band. And, you know, I've been having her play the drums a lot. And, you know, we were talking about singing, and then I remembered that there's a recording of her first, the first time she's actually really learned a song enough to sing it. And it's not really good enough. Like, it's not like she don't know like all the words, but she knew the words. And like, there's a recording on Audio Boo, which is Audio Boom now. They added an M. But all of the stuff that we put up there on Audio Boo is still there. And her mom had recorded her singing Karma Chameleon. That was the first song that she ever learned how to sing. So I went back and I found it, and then we just started messing around with some of those Audio Boo stuff. And I came across a Audio Boo where I talked about a very controversial show in the history of Scarcasm. For all that don't know, it was the Trojan Scooter show. And like she started asking me questions because I did an Audio Boo and I didn't title it what it was. The title of it was About Last Night. And it was just me doing a follow-up after that show. And so she started asking me questions about stuff, and I answered the questions in the easiest way that I possibly could without like really going too deep into it, because that's not really something for a 12-year-old. But I deflected, and I told her about the show that I did when I got drunk. The Angry Mailman podcast, where I got blitzed out fucking drunk. and and she said she wanted to hear it. So I gave her the link to that show because, of course, I know the exact date the show was made because that was the exact same day I found out that my life was changing. Everything that led up to my separation and subsequent divorce, all of that happened the same day. So like I found out about that morning, and that was the reason why I was drinking that day.
Mm-hmm.
But like I made a commitment to my homeboy. Shout out to Double A. I made a commitment to my homeboy that we were going to do the show. It just so happens that morning, all of that stuff happened, and then that by that night I was so messed up, like I couldn't do anything. I didn't feel like I could do anything but drink.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course I did it wrong. And so like I had to explain to her like all of that. Like, you know what I mean? Like this all happened that day. And then I also had to explain to her like 20 minutes into the show, I didn't remember anything else. So like I had to go back and listen. I listened the next day, and I was just like, I don't really remember most of what happened that day. But then, so she started listening, and she is giggling her ass off. And I was like, "Am I really drunk yet?" And she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm drunk." And she was like, "Oh yeah, you're drunk." I was like, "Just wait." I get drunker. I get drunker. Wait until the moment where I fall out of my chair and I'm screaming up at the microphone. And then the Roll Tides, which, yeah, fun times for me. But yeah, but like I said, like, and we talked about this briefly before the show started. Like, I like the idea of like having these things for her to go back to, because like, I'm not the type of person who wants to just give you the clean version of dad, like the curated version that I want you to hear. Like eventually you're gonna learn about me, and the best way for you to learn about me is through something like this, where I'm talking from my own perspective, and I'm giving you how I feel about things right now. And the stuff can change, like we've all changed over the course of the years. But you can actually get a real strong idea of who your father is through witnessing the ups and downs of him being him. Which I think is really fucking dope, and that goes into the whole fatherhood thing. But yeah, I shared that link to my child, to my 12-year-old. I don't know where that's gonna go from here. I have no idea where that's gonna go from here. And I really took some time, and I had to like really explain it. Like, yo, all this shit happened that day. Only Double A knew what was really happening. The rest of them didn't know. They just thought I was being an asshole with the Roll Tide stuff. I know Bubba said he wanted to punch me in the face. He said that after the fact. I know Bubba said he wanted to punch me in the face. All this kind of stuff. But I think some of that stuff is kind of at this point is kind of what I live for.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's one of those things to where it's like, yeah, you know what? I'm a fuck up too. That's the reason why I can tell you how not to be a fuck up. And like, I'm a better parent because I fucked up. And like, knowing that you're so much like me, I can tell you, I can course correct you so you don't go the same path as I did.
That's a bold move. I don't know if I could do that. Well, time will tell, but that's way to give your true self to your child. That's hard.
Also, I'm shameless. Like that show is kind of a source of embarrassment, but like now it's something that I can laugh about. And like everybody involved can laugh about it. At the time it was really fucking sad, but right now I can talk about it and like be like, hey, that's just where I was at that time. I'm no longer there. And but this is where I was, just, if you want to know how I was feeling that day, this is exactly how I was feeling that day.
Mm-hmm.
And even though there's a part of that show that got cut out, there's a part of that show that got cut out where I really start to talk a little bit too much, and I start explaining what's really happening to me. And a part of it is cut out. It's a small part, but it kind of clued everybody else that was on the show into what was actually happening. But it got cut out because my man looked out for me and didn't want me to put everything out on Front Street. And then like subsequently, I put it all on Front Street on Twitter anyway, like a dumbass. So.
We live and we learn.
Yeah, we definitely live and we learn. But yeah, man, since the past week, because it's weird now because we're going back weekly instead of bi-weekly. I don't really have much going on in my life right now.
You have everything going on in your life, man.
Outside of just like hanging out with my kid and like doing stuff, and then she went back yesterday. I don't really have much else going on. I haven't really done very much. I've played some games, but I haven't watched very much of anything that's different.
Right. Yeah, I need to start watching more stuff, but it seems like I have limited time, and when I do have time, I want to play something. So, every time you guys get around to like what you've been watching, I'm like, nothing. I ain't watch shit.
The thing that I've been watching the most is something that I am not something that it's not something that I'm into at all. It's just like I happen to be in the room. My girlfriend is watching this, and I'm too lazy to get up and do something else. So I end up watching this mess also. That's happened with a few different shows, and then but the only time that's really turned into something really interesting was Dr. Foster. Dr. Foster turned out to be super interesting. I wasn't very interested at first, but I just happened to be in the room and it was just like, oh, so what's going on here? But this is just. I can't really. I can't get jiggy with this shit at all.
Shoot, we just watch a ton of First 48 over here. First 48 and Dateline, all kind of murder stuff. Isn't that romantic?
It's okay. I don't know very much about the First 48. Like, is it dramatized or is it real?
It's real.
Yeah, see, I don't watch any reality, yo. I don't watch any reality shows of any kind.
Oh man, I love it, but it's like some of the stuff we've gotten so far back that we're into old ones where they got flip phones and everything, and it's funny just to see how many of these cases like people's conscience weighs on them and they tell on themselves, and you could tell they didn't have anywhere to go, but because this person told on themselves, they got them.
Damn.
Or get the lawyer. They just talk without a lawyer.
Yeah, yeah. Even if you got a court-appointed lawyer, don't speak to nobody without your lawyer, dog. Mm-hmm. Like, never. You're going to end up like Brendan Dassey.
Don't want it.
Dumbass Brendan Dassey. Is he still locked up? I know at one point he was supposed to be getting out.
That I don't know.
Hold on, I'm gonna look this up. You know what I'm talking about? Brendan Dassey?
The name doesn't really sound familiar, but I'm guessing he confessed to something he didn't do.
Yeah, he's the dude from Making a Murderer. The nephew, the dumbass nephew.
Oh, okay. I think we got a couple episodes into that, and then just it wasn't really hitting for us.
It's really like it's really slow, but it was just really interesting. Like I really kind of stuck with it. I think Making a Murderer, as it turns out, like once the fever kind of died down, I think Making a Murderer is more interesting than Tiger King.
I watched Tiger King. I'm gonna have to go back then and finish Making a Murderer because we love Tiger King. That was just craziness. That fool was a fool.
Yes. And I think the Making a Murderer came out at the exact right time. Making a Murderer came out right when the corona hit, so everybody was at home, and everybody's work was getting ready, was stopping for everybody. They ain't had nothing else better to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I liked Making a Murderer. I think that motherfucker did it. I don't think the nephew did it, but I damn sure think that he did that shit.
And he did that though. He did that.
I think
Just like Carol, you know she has something to do with her husband's disappearance. If she didn't do it, she knows what happened.
exactly. I think Carol is like the OJ of white chicks. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you knew she had something to do with it. It may not have gone down the way that we talking about, and that's the reason why she has plausible deniability, because it probably didn't go down the way that we talking about. But something happened, and she know what happened.
Yep. I totally believe that.
Yeah.
And
And
then
the same
I
thing with
go
OJ.
ahead.
The same thing with OJ. I believe that OJ was responsible. First of all, I don't think OJ acted alone.
Yep.
But I do think that like all of the circus around OJ made that much bigger than it should have been.
Mm-hmm.
But I think OJ had something to do with it. Even if he didn't do it himself, he damn sure got somebody to do it, because he was a rich man at that point. You know what I mean? Like why do you need to kill these people yourself?
Rich and popular. Somebody want that money.
Even though like it was a knife attack, and usually knife attacks are crimes of passion.
Mm-hmm.
Because you gotta really feel something for a motherfucker to roll up on them and stab them. Like, if you pull out a knife to defend yourself, if you in a situation, like, that's something different. But like, if you gotta really feel something to like want to like take a knife and put it through somebody. You know what I mean? Like, that's not just something that just happens because like you just want to hurt people. No. You just want to hurt people. Like, you use a baseball bat or some shit like that. But if you want to stab somebody, you got to really feel something.
Like, I want to see that hit you right in your eyes. I want to see your eyes when it goes in. That's some sick stuff.
I want to see that light go out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just stab somebody and just whisper. Put the knife in somebody's chest and just go. We're gonna be all right without you. Just go. That's the show title. Just go.
Like, not that I've thought about it or anything, right?
And it also brings you back around to Stained.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? That's where you went with that? Fine.
Well, it's a running thing with this podcast for some reason. For some reason, Stained always gets brought up.
Yeah. I only know that one song of theirs. What is it? Isn't this how you reminded me? Is that Stained? This is how you remind me?
No, that's whatchamacallit.
Oh, that's Nickelback, huh? Dang. What was the Stained? The big song by Stained?
It's been a while.
Okay. Yes.
That's like the one that everybody kind of knows. I mean, I had the first two albums. The first one was a whole lot better than the second one. Let's be honest. Yeah. But you know something, at the time, I was really confused about Nickelback. Because like Nickelback sounded exactly like Puddle of Mud, and like I was one of the like 10 people that actually bought the full Puddle of Mud album. Like, I actually bought that shit. Like, I got a full ass Puddle of Mud album, and that's like one of the things. Like, outside of the You God album, like I'm like, yo, why do I own this? Like, you know, like the You God album had one song on it, and I bought it because it was Wu-Tang, and that was a very unfortunate situation.
I'm sure I have the album by Tattoo. If you remember those girls, I'm sure I have that at the house, at my parents' house somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah. Not even a burn copy from Tower Records. Bought it.
Okay. So let's go. Most embarrassing albums you own, or CDs, or however you want to call it. Most embarrassing CDs you own. I'm gonna tell you one, and I'm super embarrassed by this. You ready?
Hit me with it.
Based off of one song, I bought the whole CD of Crazy Town.
Crazy Town. Whoa.
I like Butterfly, dog. Like, I like Butterfly. Like, it's Crazy Town, right?
I believe so. Yeah, it's of the time. I mean, I'm also a BSB fan. I'm also even more of an NSYNC fan.
Well, I'm not ashamed by those. I'm not ashamed.
Yeah, no, but it's, if you were feeling that vibe, then you were feeling that vibe.
I will tell you, like, I will put on Celebrity right now, and I would be right here, like, and I would be singing like motherfucker. We were, my daughter and I, we like looking up, like sample videos where they play like the song and you're supposed to, and we try to guess what what song sampled that before the song switches. And like there's a lot of boy band stuff in the K-pop stuff, which is, I find it weird that there's not really a whole lot of Backstreet Boys and NSYNC stuff. And it was like, you're a boy band. Why don't you sample from the best boy bands? This makes no sense. Why do you there's a whole bunch of samples of fucking Five. Why the fuck do you have a whole lot of samples of Five? No one likes Five. Like,
That's why. Get away with it.
No one fucking likes Five. Like, Five only has one good song. When the Lights Go Out, like that's the only fucking good Five song. I didn't even buy the Five album, and I really dug some of this shit. But yeah, I bought Crazy Town based off of Butterfly. I thought that it was going to be a whole bunch of shit like that, and it just turned out not to be what's hot on these streets. One that I did not buy, but I did listen to based off of a song that was on Rock Band. I listened to the whole Hollywood Undead album, and it was fucking terrible. I mean, it was bad. Like, it was like really bad. Like, one of the dudes is like a rapper, but he kind of sounded like if Weird Al and Eminem had a baby. You know what I mean? Like, it was just really weird.
It's like a whiny rap.
Yes, it was. He sounded very whiny and kind of nasally.
Yeah, just from the name, I could tell, like, Hollywood Undead. That's probably going to be some ICP shit. And so I don't even think I've ever heard a song by them, other than knowing that it's like, I've heard a song by them, of course, but I've never like heard multiple songs by them. But just to know,
you don't want to hear multiple songs by them.
Yeah,
that's something. All right, what's your embarrassing album, Chase?
I own.
Anybody ever heard of?
I own the first. They're not even in here. Let me pause this movie.
Okay.
Oh, keep us in suspense. I guarantee you it's something neither one of us ever heard of.
Okay. It was one of yours.
Oh, man. Oh, shoot. Like I said, that Tattoo album, and then probably, I think I might, I'm pretty sure I have a Drag On album.
Okay, hold on. Is it really that? Is it Drag? Okay, I've never heard a whole Drag On album. Drag On was one of those dudes that, like, when he showed up, he was amazing. Drag On is kind of like the Fabulous of his time. Like, if he showed up on your song, it's great. But like, he ain't really have a whole lot of songs that he could like really hang his hat on alone. He's like one of the people that just couldn't do it by himself. Kind of like Nate Dogg. Like Nate Dogg. If he's on your song, it's amazing. The Nate Dogg album, like, who owns the Nate Dogg album?
I did. Music and Me. Come on now. Yes.
Y'all West Coast niggas. But but he only got one song by himself. I got love. Oh, like that's the only song. That's the only Nate Dogg song that.
Oh man, Backdoor. Oh, love it. Oh, I love that album. Music and Me is a classic. It's a West Coast classic.
Yeah, that's for y'all West Coast people. Like, we don't eat. Like, I don't know nobody who was bumping the whole Nate Dogg. Like,
I understand that might not be hot over there.
Man, that's a good show title. That's an alternate show title. The whole Nate Dogg.
But yeah, mine is I own the whole album. The first Smash Mouth album.
Ooh.
Smash Mouth.
Ooh, bro.
Wow.
Ooh.
But to my defense, that was before, because they didn't become like what I would consider a novelty band, and I really don't dig a lot of novelty stuff. Weird Al's kind of an anomaly there, but because he's actually really talented. But a lot of stuff that's like trying to be funny, unless it's like intelligent or like satirical or whatnot, I kind of check out after like a first listen. I was like, oh yeah, that's funny, but after the joke's gone, right? But
that just reminded me of something. That just totally reminded me of something.
What's that?
Okay, 2 albums. both from the MP3.com TV show era. I'm dating myself here. Because of MP3.com, I bought the Dynamite Hack album because of the MP3.com days they did a like very white dude version of Boys in the Hood. I'm like, no, for real. If you've never heard this, it is it is Boys in the Hood, Eazy-E, Boys in the Hood, but like a dude singing it like with like soft, is very soft rock. Like it is very, very white dude. But like, yeah, I bought that. And then also,
Boys in the cul-de-sac or?
No, it's the whole song.
Yeah, it's the cul-de-sac.
The song is accurate. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I heard it. But I don't think he actually says nigga in the Dynamite Hack version. I could be wrong. But the rest of the song is accurate. But it's sang in a very kind of like soft rock kind of way. And then I'm really embarrassed about this. Should I say this? I bought the Bloodhound Gang album. When you said something but like satirical and like trying to be funny and stuff like that, that immediately made me think of Bloodhound Gang. Yeah, I bought that. But okay, so here's the thing about both of those albums. I bought them from Warehouse Music used. I did not buy them new. You know what I mean? Like that was back when Warehouse Music was a thing. Like I bought them used. I didn't spend full on CD money on those. I bought those used. You know, also a feather in my cap. I bought the You God album used too. So they had quite a few copies because apparently somebody bought it. Was like, I want this shit.
They had a better idea than you, huh?
Yeah. So those are my. You know what? That is a question. That's a question for everybody. Yo, send us a message. Show up in the Discord. I want to know the most embarrassing albums, like full on CDs. Albums in your collection that you're just every time you think about it, you're like, why the fuck did I buy this? Like, why did I buy this? I want to know yours. Whatever you got out there, I want to know yours because I'm not just gonna put myself out here and tell y'all motherfuckers I bought the puddle of mud, like, and y'all not gonna reciprocate.
Yeah, but we still defended a little bit, because I'm like, yeah, now everyone laughs at Smash Mouth, but at the time of that first album, they weren't really a laughingstock at that point because they hadn't done the All-Star and whatnot. And I really dug, like, Booker T style, like, rock, organ and shit. And there's a lot of that type of shit in that album. And it probably doesn't hold up now. I haven't listened to it in fucking years, but at the time, that's why I bought it, is because that organ sound, I really dug it, and I don't know. And then all of a sudden they just became a novelty band, which,
I think, does Smash Mouth have more than 2 songs? Like, I only know 2 songs. Like, I only know 2.
I mean, they have albums, so of course they do, but yeah.
Like, do they have anything other than the 2 that everybody knows? Like, does anybody know a third?
Well, they don't have more singles than that, but they have more songs because they have albums. They have
more singles, it's just no one cared. I only know the Walking on the Sun and All Star, right? That's it. I don't know. I can't name a third Smash Mouth song.
But yeah, Walking on the Sun got me to buy that album, but I did not dig All Star. But I dig the, like, how it's became like a legendary meme or something as a song, All Star. Like, it's almost become bigger than itself in the internet days. But
yeah, it's even on that. Was it the Progressive commercial?
Yeah, and then they it's like a joke that they're like headlining their tour or whatever.
Yeah. Like, how do you make it to that point?
I saw another commercial where what's his name? Kind of like Crazy Town dude, Sugar Ray. He was on a commercial and he was like calling Google or something, being like, no, I think it was a YouTube video. It was the Google as a person, and Sugar Ray was Googling if if Sugar Ray was ironically cool yet, and Google said no. He's like, oh, damn it.
Wow, I completely forgot about Sugar Ray. The only reason why I remember like Jimmy Eat World songs is because of Rock Band. If without Jimmy Eat World songs being on Rock Band, I would have completely forgot about them too.
Yeah.
That's all that same, that same type of that Sugar Ray and.
Well, Jimmy Eat World is not like Sugar Ray.
You sure?
I'm positive.
You sure? You sure?
Jimmy Eat World is a legitimate band.
You sure?
They're like kind of an emo punk band, right?
You sure?
And Sugar Ray's like Sugar Ray.
Right. Like they just have a category. Like he's in his whole category. He's kind of he's the Nate Dogg.
I would put.
Don't you do that? Don't put those two together.
I would put Jimmy Eat World in the Eve 6 category.
I don't remember anything by Eve 6. I know I remember the name. That's like the TRL days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't name a song though. I recognize the name when you said it.
It's like they're not sad enough to be emo, but they're not hard enough to be punk. It's like this weird but they're not really like alternative rock. It's kind of this weird thing. I don't know.
It's kind of like that. I remember Sum 41.
Yes. I feel like I enjoyed Sum 41. It was like Sum 41 and Yellow Card kind of all came out at the same time, right?
Yes.
And then the dude from there got with Avril Lavigne. Avril Lavigne was a little pocket cutie.
But
I'm gonna go on that ledge too.
That ain't really my jam. That ain't really my jam.
Then I have Avril Lavigne album. How about that? That's there we go. I got that album.
Nah, I can't roll with that one, dog.
I can still rock with a Newfound Glory. They because they got really popular during that time, but since they were all like had like scene cred with the hardcore scene, once they not were popular anymore, they still made albums and still like made it in the underground because they had links to the hardcore scene.
That's another name that sounds familiar, but I can't think of a song.
The Sticks and Stones. What was the song of Sticks and Stones that was popular? I'm not sure. But yeah, they had like one song that got really popular, but I don't really consider them. I guess they were a one-hit wonder, but they have
like
been a
Orgy?
band. They have been a band since that whole time, but they just went back to the underground and
Like
continued
Orgy
to follow.
was a one-hit wonder. Did Orgy ever make a second song?
No, but who? But who? You don't get VH1 specials out of two-hit wonders. So
it's like the only reason why we all know about Orgy is because of the Family Values tour. Like no one knows, no one knows anything else about them. I will say, a lot of people say that I should be ashamed about my love for Limp Bizkit. I like people. I guess people have decided that Limp Bizkit is like the worst band of all time.
Newfound Glory had two singles off that album, which was Head On Collision and My Friends Over You. So
okay,
but Head On Collision was a big one.
Okay, I probably know one of those if I hear it, but I can't think of it right now. Name sounds familiar, but like I can't think of it right now. I listened to while I was driving yesterday on the way back from Northern Virginia. I listened to Cam, you would probably get in with this. I listened to Victory Lap again. The Nipsey Hussle. Did you listen? Come on, man.
I never got into Nipsey.
You West Side, dog. You're supposed to be about life.
Only thing Nipsey I know is off of Mustard's album, the newest Mustard album. And he has a song with Nipsey Hussle.
Victory Lap is very, very good. And it's just like, yo, I didn't listen to Victory Lap until after he died. Like I have heard, because he had a song on NBA Live. And actually he was an unlockable character in NBA Live. Like you could, and then
he's probably 5'6".
No, actually Nipsey Hussle was actually pretty tall.
Oh, I thought he was a pocket person like Lil Wayne.
No, I think he's actually pretty tall. Like he's not like DMX because like DMX is like DMX is shorter than Chase. Nipsey Hussle was 6'3". He was 6'3".
Okay.
So
he was in game territory.
Yeah, but it was really I listened to that on the way back, and I was just like, man, this is really good. And I think it really sucks that that I didn't listen to any of it until after he had passed. But that's a really good album that Chase is not going to listen to. Chase does not take any of my suggestions seriously.
I do.
I take your suggestions seriously. It doesn't seem like Pooh Bear doesn't take him seriously. Chase doesn't take him seriously. I take you seriously.
I listened to the Crit album.
Yeah, but then you never listened to the Little Brother, which is more up your alley than Crit.
I've been meaning to, but
it's more up your alley. And that's your state representative.
I'll do it before the next podcast
because you like that 90s hip hop sound. Yeah. You don't like Southern hip hop. That's why you couldn't get down with Crit, even though Crit doesn't rap. I like that.
Some Southern hip hop,
But I mean, the Little Brother is right up your alley, dog.
I like Killer Mike, but
I've never actually sat down and listened to a Run the Jewels album. I don't know why I haven't. Like, there's been a couple of times where I was like, okay, I'm gonna put on this Run the Jewels, and then something. I go to my Google Music, and I was like, ooh, Victory Lap, like that type of thing. Like every time I go to do it, something else pops up. And it's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that.
That was me with Little Brother. Like and mostly I don't do the streaming services anymore, so I just kind of like have my music. Mm-hmm. So I would have to like go to YouTube or something. So
okay, what was I getting ready to say? I lost it. Yep, I lost it. I had something I was gonna say after that, and then it's just gone.
You look like Andrew Perkins right now.
Really?
Yep. Really? I'm thinking about a real big point right now.
So I just I've been oh yeah, the whole thing about Pooh Bear. I'm still kind of pissy about that. Like I'm real kind of mad about that.
Miseducation is real music. Come on now.
Yeah. And then she was, and every time we have a conversation about it, she was like, I listened to half. It doesn't count. I listened to that whole fucking K-pop nonsense.
Yep.
And with those rudimentary 808s, like, you know what I mean? Like, and I really wanted to have a conversation about this Fisher Price, My First 808s on this fucking album. And like, she didn't listen to her. She didn't do her part. We watched all of phase 1 of the Marvel movies. And I was like, yo, let's do a show. And she was just kind of like,
What? Come on.
We did a full rewatch. We watched all of phase 1 all the way up to Avengers. And she was just kind of like,
Captain America 1 is the worst movie.
Bruh, let me tell you about something about Captain America. Well, first of all, on this rewatch, I fell asleep on every single one of those movies except for the Avengers. Every single one.
Maybe that's why she was like, meh, you fall asleep, Dad.
No, because when I woke up, we had conversations about it and like how all of this stuff ties in and like, like we had some real conversations about like what happened in the Avengers when like, when when like the hammer or something hits the shield and like how Captain America remembered that for when he had the hammer and the shield in Endgame, where he threw the shield and then threw the hammer at Thanos, like that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like we were having that conversation. Oh, you remember, like the seeds of this stuff got watered throughout and like in Endgame is like, this is where all of that led to. Like that type of stuff. So we had some real conversations about it. It just wasn't recorded. And mostly it was just me explaining shit. So I don't think that would have made for a great podcast, but I really wanted to get her perspective on it. As just as a thing to do, but yeah, I'm still really kind of pissed off because I listened to that whole damn thing, the whole thing. And I listened to it I didn't want to be swayed by the translation. I wanted to hear it the way it was meant to be heard.
Yeah.
So I listened to a whole fucking album of a nigga talking in fucking Korean and I ain't understand a word.
I don't know now.
Yeah, I don't really it's weird. Like I like a lot of Asian stuff. I like some anime. I like some like the old like kung fu movies and stuff. But like I don't. It's weird how they here. It's like it's not cool to listen to like super poppy music, like that's really produced. But then over there, they don't fucking give a shit. Like you find the most like burliest motherfucker there, and he's listening to fucking K-pop. You know what I mean? It's so weird. Like there's a band I like that's like a sludge metal band. They're called Boris, and they're from Japan, but they are not popular.
Sludge metal, like there's always some kind of weird like adjective to metal, like like
it's okay.
metal,
It's related.
black metal, sludge metal, dick metal. Like, well, get the fuck out of here with all of these metals. Is it metal or is it not? Why does it have to be a special kind of fucking metal?
Because they all sound different. Like sludge sounds different than new metal. Okay, sludge is a melding of hardcore punk and doom metal. So Black Sabbath and punk together in that sludge metal. But yeah, well Boris, they're not just that, but they're kind of all over the place.
Remember, Boris is what you and Scott were talking about that day.
Yeah, like me and Max went to go see him.
Yeah,
but they are from Japan. They are not popular in Japan at all.
I all of a sudden remembered he was white, so I'm severely disappointed by that.
But they're not popular in Japan. They're not popular in Japan at all, but they are popular here. So I always found that really weird. You know what I mean? That there's like different types of music. The most popular thing in Japan is like J-pop or K-pop and that. But I do listen to a lot of stuff that's foreign. Like it's like I don't just listen to American music, but I just can't get into that like super poppy. It's not like I don't like poppy music. I mean, because some stuff I do like, but it's super bubblegummy. It's so crispy clean. So
you know what I hate.
What's that?
And I've always hated this. Songs featuring Asian kids. That is nails on a fucking chalkboard to me.
What?
Something about that really high pitched, overproduced pop music featuring Asian children is nails on a fucking chalkboard to me. I'm just like, get this thing off me. Like, take these fucking headphones off me. Like, I can't.
There's a band that's popular here, and I think it's probably in Japan, called Baby Metal.
I've seen a video where someone did a reaction to Baby Metal, and that was like the weirdest fucking thing ever, because the background music is really heavy, and then they're like super poppy on top of some heavy music. It was very fucking weird.
And a YouTube dude I watch sometimes, his YouTube channel is called the Punk Rock MBA, and he goes through like history of punk and hardcore and stuff, and sometimes he'll go over why these bands got big and why they're not big anymore. But he's got a really good channel. But
does he include black people?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
He actually he did a video about metal and racism and whatnot, but he let his black friend do most of the talking because he's like, I'm a white guy, I don't have anything to say that's not going to like sound overly bad. But anyway, he did a video about Baby Metal, and then he completely regrets it because their fan base is the most toxic thing. If you say anything bad about it, because most metalheads hate Baby Metal, and they're like, fuck you just don't understand, and like they like attack the fuck out of him.
I don't understand that whole you just don't understand, Dad. Like that whole thing is just like, it's not for me to understand. That's what I get, and I go through that constantly with my daughter about this K-pop nonsense. But I will say, I had a moment of vindication on Saturday. When I told you about the videos that we watch about samples and stuff like that and trying to figure out the songs or whatever like that, we watched a video where it was just all samples that BTS used, samples and covers that BTS used. And like there was some stuff where she looked she looked fucking embarrassed, and I was cackling because she was just like, because I've had this whole thing with her, like, yo, like a lot of this stuff is based off of late 90s, early 2000s urban music, like, and they're just basically taking it and just repackaging it for kids because there anyone who was alive and understood music in the late 90s, early 2000s, especially hip-hop, R&B, and pop music, like, none of this stuff sounds new at all. It all sounds like a copy of something else. And she was like, well, it's just like, she at first she thought of it the way that we think of any other samples, but like then they would play, like, in these videos, they would play like a whole stretch of something, and she's just like, yo, they took that whole shit. Like, she actually said that. Like, I let my daughter cuss around me. I don't give a shit. As long as she don't cuss at me, she can cuss. She was like, yo, they took that whole shit. And like the more and more it went on, and the deeper and deeper she got into, like, yo, that's that song. How did they take that whole thing? Like, and she started to get like upset, and I'm on the side cackling because this is everything I said. Like, this is everything I said. Like, if you know what the late 90s and early 2000s sound like, you know exactly what this is. And like, I introduced her to something that she never thought that, like, I was in the car and I was just playing random music, right? And fucking B2K song came on, and I was like, yo, it was and sounds just like the rest of this K-pop nonsense. Like, it's just like, yo, this is exactly what they are trying to do. So like, B2K is the BTS of their time.
Yeah, pretty much.
And sometimes it's weird how like certain countries are like behind. We're definitely behind on certain things, but when it comes to entertainment, certain countries are behind us. Like, I remember this was around 2009 when I was playing a lot of Call of Duty. One of my friends in Britain, he was talking. He was like, "Man, you heard about Nickelback?" I was like, "Nickelback." And I was like, yeah, like fucking 10 years ago.
Have you ever tried Nickelback? Have you ever tried Nickelback on weed? Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Something, but that's how I came across some different things, like that kind of thing, like being late to things. Like I was late to a lot of rock music, like a lot of like different types of rock music, whatever you want to call it. Like I kind of started at Korn and then kind of branched out from there. Mm-hmm. And then like, I still feel regret that I missed out the whole Stone Temple Pilots thing at the time. Like, because a lot of that stuff, I'm like, I would have totally fucking loved this shit at the time. And some of it I love now. And then like Soundgarden, like I totally missed out on Soundgarden. Like, how the fuck did I miss Soundgarden? It's like, it's not like it wasn't there. And like, like the random white dude that would just be like, "Spin Man," like randomly. And I was just I didn't know what the fuck that meant. So, like, all of this stuff was there, and I completely missed out on it. And I feel bad that I got to some of this stuff late, because I think I would have really, really enjoyed grunge at the time. Grunge was grunge, with the exception of the grunge stuff that I only knew from Nevermind. Like, I didn't really go very far outside of Nevermind and Unplugged when it came to grunge music. But like, I got a friend that's like super into Pearl Jam, and I'm just like, yo, I probably would have liked this back then.
You know what annoys me is when people will be like, when you ask what someone listens to and they say, "Oh, I listen to everything," which really translates to, "I listen to most things except for rap and metal." And I'm like, yeah. It's like,
I wish I sort of like a spin on that is that like emo rap is what I call it, and like I wish I would have been, if that would have came out in high school, that would have been my jam. Like Kid Cudi and stuff like that. Like if he would have been out when I was in high school, I would have never gone to Linkin Park. But I love me some Linkin Park, and I love me some Kid Cudi.
I wish I would have never went through my Linkin Park phase.
yeah. Well, finish your Linkin Park thing, but like that reminds me of something that the punk rock NBA guy.
No, it's the same thing I've always said about Linkin Park. I felt like I grew out of that and they didn't, so I had to leave them behind.
Yeah, but yeah, the punk rock NBA guy, he went into this video about how what's going to kill rock, and like that rock is like people are like, oh, why isn't rock doing this thing? And like the kids that would have been into rock are now doing like the emo rap and stuff, and so rock is definitely dying as a popular genre. I mean, there's definitely rock music that's on the underground, but like
because people aren't playing instruments like they used to. Like it's easier for me to make a rap song because all I really need is a computer. You know what I mean? Like all I really need is a computer, and I can program all of this stuff in FL Studio.
You still have to have some talent, but you don't have to have as much money for equipment.
Not really. Like it's really like it's become so easy that like you know how many like really shitty rappers are available because they didn't have anybody to like really. They didn't have any way to, they didn't have to go through the normal channels of getting their music out. Like everybody can just put their shit on SoundCloud, and like, you know what I mean? Like, so like, but I think that's why like stuff like rock music will die, or it really is dying out because of the idea of like playing instruments is really the thing that's really going away. Outside of like marching band stuff, but that's not necessarily things that's going to translate into these realms of popular music.
Right.
So I think like, like, and then like, I had a customer a long time ago, and he told me that he was a gigging musician. He worked for the city of Hampton, but he also was a gigging musician, and he was a guitarist. And I told him that I wanted my daughter to learn something. And he said, "Don't let her learn guitar. Just like it's a million guitarists, and there's not enough gigs for all of us. If she learns bass or drums, like but she was like, bass is the way to go. Everyone needs a bassist." Like everyone needs a bassist, but
I think like there's more bassists than drummers. Like especially good drummers. Like it's so hard to find a good drummer, especially for some. Well, I mean, I'm also speaking from a dude who wants to play metal and stuff. Find a good metal drummer is so hard.
Yeah, I really wish I was able to continue my lessons and I had somewhere to put my digital drums up because I would be drumming all the time. Like all the time. I miss it. I miss it so much. I got 2 pairs of sticks right around me. I got a little pair of sticks right here. Mm-hmm. And then I got my Rock Band sticks are right here. Like, and then I got a whole fucking bag of of different types of sticks, like marching sticks and all kinds of shit in there. And I really just miss it. I hope I can get back to it at some point.
Yeah.
Even just for me, just like for something to do, I would totally just love to do that. This ain't got shit to do with nothing. I just wanted to say that.
My lady wants Kellen to learn an instrument, and I'm like, okay, well, when he learns his, I want to learn to play the violin. Because I like violin beats. Ever since, what was that? Queen of the Damned. That little beach violin part. Man, I want to be able to play that. I don't want to get killed, but I want to play that.
I was telling somebody about Queen of the Damned the other day, because we were talking about something about voices, and she said that her and her brother, like she has a very, very deep voice, like her voice is deeper than mine, and she said that her and her brother have very similar voices, and I was like, oh, y'all can do the Queen of the Damned thing, and she looked at me like, huh? It's like, yeah, like Aaliyah died and the movie wasn't finished, they had to do some overdubs, so her brother did the overdub of some of her lines, and they just kind of softened his voice, but their voices were so similar that he was able to do that. But yeah, I ain't thought about Queen of the Damned in a long time. That soundtrack was fucking amazing.
Yep. Didn't they have Linkin Park on there?
Was it? It's been a long time since I've heard it.
I mean, I'd be surprised if it didn't have Linkin Park on there. But sorry.
That was one of those albums that I really, really dug quite a bit. But it was mostly like, that was very new metalish.
Mm-hmm.
There is a not a Linkin Park song. Chester had a song himself.
Oh, okay. R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. Queen of the Dam has 2 Static X songs.
Well, Dwayne Static's dead too.
Yeah. What you call it is on that album, so I know that you would like it. Change is on the Queen of the Dam soundtrack.
Yeah, I'm definitely down with some Deftones. We were just listening to Deftones the other day, just went in the car. Fucking shit don't get old, man.
Yeah. But yo, Down with the Sickness is on the soundtrack. I don't remember that. I don't remember Down with the Sickness being on that soundtrack.
I don't remember it being from that movie either.
But also Headstrong is on that one. No, thank you. If I never hear Headstrong again, it used to be my coworker's ringtone. If I never hear Headstrong again, I'm okay with that.
I went to high school in the ghetto, like super ghetto. And I went to a Catholic school in the middle of a ghetto. And I remember this dude, somebody or whoever, would play Deftones from some apartment or house behind my high school, and we'd be practicing. And it was like, why is that super, super rock song being played in the middle of the ghetto? And be practicing on the guitar every single day. I was just amazed. I was like, I need to find out where this is coming from to see who's making this music. Because it's either the one white guy here or somebody black is making this music.
Right. Well, there's always one.
Mm-hmm.
There's always one white family in the hood.
True.
And there's the young man. He can only be two. He can only be 2 people. He could be the hardest of the hard or the softest of the soft. There is no middle to the one. The young white dude in the hood. He can only be one of the 2. He's the dude that always got to prove himself, or he's the one that everyone got to prove themselves to.
If you can't beat him, you can't be down with us. Or if you can't beat him, you can't be down with us. Yep.
All right. Y'all want to get into some other stuff? We can do what we've been watching. I'll let you go first. You said you are the first 48 and all that other stuff. That's all you watch?
As far as I can think of right now, yes, that's all I can remember. Just watching the first 48, Dateline, House Hunters all the time because we're trying to buy a house. So I see those Virginia's houses and I'm like, man, I wish I could take my dollar to Virginia.
That House Hunters is such bullshit.
Oh, it is. Oh, 100%.
It's like he works at the post office and I work at Walmart. Our budget is $2 million. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Even stupider than that is Lotto Millionaire. Like, oh, how much did you win? $2 million. What's your budget? $250,000. I love that show. David Bromstead is like, he's the reason why I watch HGTV. Love David Bromstead.
Here's the only time I ever watch HGTV. It's when I got to go to Patients First. Because for some reason, in Patients First, they always have HGTV on. And it's always some shit about houses. Like, it's always some flip or flop or some bullshit like that. It's always something like that going on whenever I got to go to the fucking doctor. It's always on in Patients First. I don't know why that's a Patients First thing, but, like, maybe that's, like, the easiest thing they can do. But, like, it's always on in Patients First. It is always...
It's neutral. Doesn't make too many people too mad or too many people happy.
Yeah, I'm always like, yo, y'all bugging. Like, sometimes they be like, I don't really like this house. I'll be like, bitch, are you out of your mind?
Yep. I got to have this. It has a walk-in closet. I need a walk-in closet. Get out of here.
And then, the worst thing about it, here's the worst thing about those TV shows. And this is all, I only know this from Patients First. It's like, they find the perfect house, right? And then they just fuck with it. Like, yo, you said this house was perfect for you. So why the fuck you need to fuck with it and change a whole bunch of shit till it doesn't look like the house you said you wanted?
I don't get it. I don't understand. But I'm hooked. I love them. We sit there and like pass the remote back and forth. Like, all right, I picked last night. You picked this tonight. Is your episode going to be better than mine? And then we try and guess. Are they going to go with house 1, 2, or 3? Which one? What's it going to be? What's it going to be? Well, this one's in the price range, but this one has the amenities. So what are they going to choose?
Yeah, and they'd be like talking about some stupid stuff. They'll be talking about the stuff that really matters, like the school system and like how close are we to the stove, like stuff
Yep.
like that, stuff that you really want to know when you buying a house. Like you don't
Yeah.
want to have a house like Chase where it's like a million miles to get to the fucking store.
It is not a million miles to get to the store. It's just felt that way because you went off 95, which is nothing.
I don't know. It just it took it. I was driving for like 45 minutes to get to my hotel room, which is right off 95. I felt like I was driving for 45 minutes.
That's where you finished the playlist, was trying to get to the hotel. The drum playlist.
I was sleepy. I left his house. I was sleepy. I had to turn on music and I had to sing as loud and obnoxious as I possibly could just to keep myself awake. It was just not. It was not a good. It was not a good ride to the hotel room.
Speaking of that, I don't think people understand about not wanting to stay at people's house and you like, oh, you can stay here, and it's like, I think I'm gonna need my own bed in my own room, and people just don't get it. But I appreciate wanting to stay in your own spot.
Yo, I want to sleep in my drawers with no shirt on. Like I can't do that at your house. I got a boxer briefs. My dick might come out. Like I can't have that around your kid.
Yeah, Aiden and young Riles might get a surprise they don't want.
Young Riles is like, yo, Dad, can I get one of those? Sorry, son, we ain't got them genetics. We ain't got them kind of genetics, son. I'll leave and Chase be mad as hell that young Riles want one of those. Damn niggers. I think Chase will, at that point when Chase would call me a nigger. Like he wouldn't say like the full thing, but I think Chase would call me a nigger under his breath. Like I hate everything right now. Chase be scared to leave me at home without him, so he don't want an episode of Blacked to happen.
Oh, poor Chase. I'm sorry.
Chase, do you even know what Blacked is?
The and then that show with what's his name from Saturday Night Live? No, that's Blackish.
No. No. It's an interracial porn series.
Oh, okay.
Usually starring a black man and a white lady.
That's something else I wanted to talk about too. Was how the interaction and the talking. You talked about it a little bit, but just with everything that's going on and going out with somebody of a different race, because my lady's white, and so it's been very interesting to me is like what is it? What Michael Thomas tweeted out was, she don't know enough to know. He don't know enough to know. It's like, I think she's kind of, like, yeah, you didn't know that was a thing. Like, California is a little bit different where they're not right in your face with it, but it's like, yeah, it's something I gotta consider all the time and worry about, and you don't even think about it.
My man who was asked to put on a mask and he put on a KKK hood was in San Francisco. So shit's real. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen in North Carolina or South Carolina like we thought, or Georgia like we thought. That shit happened in San Francisco. Nigga just put on a KKK hood in the middle of fucking what's the grocery store chain out there? I'm just gonna say
Trader Joe.
Yeah, Trader Joe. We gonna say Trader Joe's. He just decided, it was like, you need to put on the mask. He was like, got you. Mm-hmm. I got you.
There's a dude that comes into my Costco with a thong as his face mask, a lady's thong.
Yo, I seen a video where the lady and this dude are going into a restaurant, and it's a nice restaurant, and they wouldn't let him in because he didn't wear a mask. He didn't wear a mask. See, I can't do that. Definitely can't do that. Cam in California, he can't be out here.
Oh, no, not where I'm from.
Hell no.
Nuh-uh.
So there's a dude. So they wouldn't let him in without a mask. So he tells his girl to come back out. He whispers in her ear. She takes off her panties and he just puts them over her face or his face and walks in the fucking place.
That reminds me of Employee of the Month. And they're like, why do these stockings stink? Like, what is this mask? I got it from her gym bag.
All right, Chase, have you watched anything? I know you say you don't watch enough.
No, I haven't watched hardly anything at all. Sweetie, haven't watched anything.
She's watching something now.
No, she's reading.
Reading? Who reads? I'm black. We don't read.
I do audiobooks, though. I'm listening to Shadow Magic for like the third or fourth time right now.
You do audiobooks? That must hurt.
Oh, yeah.
I listen to an audiobook with the quickness. Like I can't like I would read. I would really read, and I would, Rashani is a reader. Like he really reads. But I can't be totally like engrossed in like with this thing in my face and just reading. Like I need to listen to an audiobook so I can do something else. Like I need to be able to get up and move around and do some other things while still enjoying.
I do enjoy reading. It's just my own head gets in the way to where like I'll read something and then my mind will trail off, or then I have to come back or I have to read the same sentence twice. Like when I start reading, I become 12 years old and my ADHD is going crazy again. And then I hate it because there's some fucking good books, you know what I mean?
So you have the whole squirrel thing.
Yeah.
Fine. It's been a very long time since I've actually sat down and read a book. Now I'll read an article of, something that I want to understand more about or something that's happening. I'll read an article, but like a whole book, a whole ass book. And brothers like me, especially living in a place that's like, racially charged as here, like brothers like me read books with no barcodes. So like it's some real different type of shit around here. Like, be reading those like those 5% of books and stuff like that. Man, trying to get on your trying to get what's today's math, God. There's no idea what I'm talking about. That's the classic. He's just kind of looking around like, all right. It's kind of like, of course, like it is. But yeah, it's been a very long time since I sat down and actually really read a book, other than like an audiobook. I think audiobooks are made for people like me. And like, but it's been a while since I did that. The last one that I did was the podcast, the podcast audiobook of the Orphan Black. I actually bought it and it was really good. Like, it was really good. Like, if you watch Orphan Black, you really need to get on this. There is basically a whole nother season of the show, but in audiobook form, but they release them like podcasts, like every week. The different chapters are basically like different episodes of the show. So that was really good. And they've done some other things. Like I started listening to, they had a free preview for a Thor book on that app. And it was okay. Here's the thing about it, and kind of this is the same thing with the new Marvel the Avengers video game that's coming out. Mm-hmm. The guy who's reading it don't sound like Chris Hemsworth. Like, so like the fact that like like my idea of who Thor is so tied into him because of the MCU that if somebody else is doing the character, I'm just kind of like, this ain't right. This ain't right at all. Yeah, but that was actually pretty good. It was about like Loki starting like a rock band or some shit like that. It was just weird. Like enchanting a crown and gave it to some lead singer so that he would be like the shit and just kind of playing with people. That's how it started off, and it was about some crazy Asian chick that's a metaphor for some sort of Asian deity that turned into a tiger. That was a little weird. That's a little weird. But apparently that was a thing. There was also a K-pop group in there. Because he enlisted her help to save this K-pop group that was being exported on a intergalactic space station where they played music and stuff. It was just kind of weird. I only listened to the beginning, so I don't really know how it all came together. But it was pretty interesting when I listened. I've been watching Ozark. I'm almost finished with the first season, and I really like Ozark. Like, it's one of those, it's gotten to the point to where it's gotten very Breaking Bad to me, where at the end of every episode, you're like, how the fuck do they get out of this one? And then, like, how they get through it, and then, like, something else happens, and you're like, how the fuck do they get out of this one? And I'm still on the first season. There's 3 fucking seasons on Netflix right now. So it's very Breaking Bad to me, but except for, like, making it, he cleans the money.
Okay.
So it seems it's very Breaking Bad to me, and then with my girl, I haven't been watching this like consistently, but like I said, I'm too lazy to move out the room. The Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce.
Never even heard of that one.
It's apparently there's like 5 seasons of this shit on Netflix. But yeah, it stars. If you ever watch House.
Mm-hmm.
Cuddy is like
yes,
she's the main character.
Yes,
there's a couple of times where Cuddy is in her drawers, and I was just like, okay, that's what House was interested in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that has some very weird storylines, very very weird storylines. But it's okay, but it's not anything that I would actually watch if I wasn't being lazy.
Okay.
And then I need to get on the new season of what's the show written by the dude from the show that was written by the dude from the emo group. What's his name? Gerard Way. What's his name? What's the name of the show? It just came out with season 2 like Friday.
Is it the
Umbrella Club or whatever?
Umbrella, yeah, Umbrella
Academy, yeah, Umbrella Academy,
yeah. That the season 2 just came out, and like everyone has written like and put out like YouTube videos of think pieces and shit already, and it's like, yo, this shit just came out Friday, B. Like, calm the fuck down. So yeah, I'm gonna watch that sometime soon. And then I'd still need to watch The Old Guard or whatever that movie is called.
I hated My Chemical Romance, but like I definitely dig a lot of his like comic shit. Like,
I mean, you hate My Chemical Romance, dog. How do you hate My Chemical Romance?
I can't dig a lot of that third wave emo shit. Like I grew up in the 90s, so like that's not emo to me. That's just like pop that sounds sad.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I can say that. I can say that for certain. There's a few songs that I like. Helena is my shit. I fucking love that song. I even bought it on Rock Band. That's how real it is. I bought that song on Rock Band. All right, so we're gonna get to what we plan.
Sure, man.
Before we get to what we plan, Scott mentioned in the Discord that the NCAA 14 servers are still running. I thought they were off. He kind of mentioned like starting a new like online dynasty, and I'm like, yo, I would totally fucking do that shit. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm like, yo, I would totally fucking do that shit. I mean, it would require me to hook my 360 back up and put it back in here. But like, I would totally fucking do that shit.
It's not back compat?
No, it is not.
Oh.
Lawsuits, all kinds of shit. Like, that's the reason why. That's the reason why we ain't got nothing past 14. Yeah, lawsuits and shit. Even though they're supposed to be coming out with a new one, and there's also I've heard about a mod that they are doing to make it like all the way current. But I don't know how that's gonna work. Like, how do you get the mod onto a 360 basically? But it sounds
That's a good way to get you banned too, because I remember because I was like in the 360 era, I dabbled a little bit.
How they gonna ban me for a game that came out in 2013?
Man,
They ain't updated, so like, why can't I get an update?
yeah, I know, man, but like my 360 days, I dabbled in PC just a little bit, but I was definitely a console player at that point. But I remember knowing that mods definitely a thing, and like with Skyrim and all that kind of stuff. But then I heard a kid got banned from Xbox for putting a mod on Minecraft. I'm like, isn't Minecraft like what most people play? Like the big Minecraft players is to play mods and shit.
Yep, I saw this. I saw this video about like the worst things that EA has ever done. I didn't even know this was a thing, but apparently, if you went to the EA forums back in the day and you got banned on the forums, that thing was tied into all of your EA accounts. So, like, if you got banned on the forums for saying or doing something stupid, you couldn't play any of your EA games.
Dang, that's severe.
Yeah. That's something I never heard before, but that's crazy. And apparently EA kept saying, "Oh yeah, we're going to do something about it. We're going to do something about it," and then they just kept hoping people would forget. Yeah, fucking EA, man. All right, so Cam, what you been playing, dog?
All I play is Destiny for the most part. I mean, just getting my weeklies and dailies done and trying to raid with my clan whenever I can. And then if it's a slow week in Destiny, I start playing the first new Resident Evil. I've been playing that slowly but surely, and every 5 minutes I'm like, this is not a game for a black person. Because I'm like, nope, not going that way. I hear something, I want to go the other way, but I can't progress the game if I do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and go this way. It's not gonna turn out good, but I know it's not good.
That reminded me when we had a World War Z night on the PC, and that was with a lot of the guys from Bad Father Figures, which is basically a lot of the guys from 40cast. But we were like, okay, we got to open this door, and Matt was literally like, why would we do that? The zombies are out there.
During one of my walks, now me and my daughter, we walked on the property of the storage units, and we were walking, and there was no one on the property this one day, and we walked, and behind us, it sounded like someone just kind of shook one of the doors. And she was like, what was that? I was like, I'm not white enough to turn around. Like, I'm not, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die not knowing that it's coming. Like, I'm not turning around, and I'm not going back to that door to figure out what the fuck that sound was. Not at all. I'm not, and that's probably how I would feel in the Resident Evil game. I'm not white enough to go down that hallway. Like, I know that's where I'm supposed to go, but no, this ain't gonna happen. I'm just gonna tank myself in circles. Like, let's fuck it.
Put up the gun and pivot it around.
Pretty much.
Well, was that the original remake, or was that the Resident Evil 2?
It was the Biohazard, the one where they're in the swamp, and the stupid dude goes after his wife who's been dead for 2 years. No, thank you. You ain't getting me. I'm moved on with my life. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I love you, but I'm sorry. I done grieved and everything. Ain't no coming back. We love don't live here no more. You got a little shrine in the corner, and I'm about a different life right now.
I just be like, yo, I'll put up the Rocket J symbol and just turn the fuck around. Like, no, thank you.
R.I.P. Rue. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
You too, Thresh.
Yo, Thresh was that though. I fuck with Thresh like that. I think it sucks what happened to both of them. But yeah, Thresh was that dude.
He did what he had to do. And you don't even get to see how he dies. You don't even get to know. It's just off camera somewhere. You just hear the boop. Dang, come on, Thresh. Come on.
Damn, dog. I think he got hit up when they released the Mutts, right?
No, I think he went after the dude who was like trained to be in the games, like because of Rue, right? Because he killed Rue, so he went after him.
he went after the Red Power Ranger. You know that dude?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We all know the guy who showed up at the end. You know that dude would have been the Red Power Ranger.
Oh yeah.
Straight up.
Yep.
All right, what you got, Chase?
Actually, I've mostly been doing the same thing, playing Destiny. Like, I didn't think I was going to get back into it, and all of a sudden I just started playing, and saw the new a season or whatever, and I was like, yeah, like, and then Amber was like, I kind of want to play, so I was like, well, if you're going to play, I'll get the seasons, because when is the last time we've been able to play Destiny together? Fucking PS3. So we've been doing that, and that's been super fun, and we've actually been playing a lot of Crucible, which I didn't think I would. But that I got that gnawing hunger, and doing the thing with the warlock where you can I have the helmet with the horns like Nesric.
Sin of Nezarec Sin? Yeah, Nezarec Sin.
Yeah, because it's like void kills recharge your void abilities, and then gnawing hunger also recharges your grenades. So I throw a grenade, and I've already got it back like almost immediately. Like, I'm just throwing grenades like crazy.
Was it one or two where you had the thing where you could eat the grenade?
Yeah, that's the same class.
Yeah, Devour. Yep.
Yeah, so I got Devour going at the same time, so it's some crazy
Titan
synergy.
Master Class.
Yeah.
Titan Master Class.
Warlock supremacy, dog.
Yeah, when he was up there on that, Titans, man, you motherfuckers pissed me off, man. Because I'm like,
sharp face.
So I'm like, I was shooting the fuck out of you, and all you have to do is just run up to me and shoulder bash me. What the fuck?
Yup. Come get some. Get you some. And then if you wear your helmet, you get it right back. If you get killed with the shoulder charge, you get it right back.
But yeah, but that's been fun. And Shax is super. Because someone told me it was like the best way to level up is to do Crucible, and I was like, yeah, whatever. But dude, Shax is super generous. Like all the other factions, you're like, oh, this, and it goes tick 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 tick. Shax, you put two things, it's like legendary, legendary, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, Shax, you're just giving them out like crazy.
Yeah, that man is not stingy.
But yeah, this has been cool, and you know, this season goes on pretty long. I think it goes on till the new content, so I've got some time just to kind of get some shit, you know.
Yep, I think probably November 3rd. I think is when it ends.
Yeah.
I would play. I just don't want to play on PC. Which somebody asked me to play on PC yesterday.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the new consoles because I want to play in 60 frames per second. It looks so much. I can tell immediately when someone's playing on PC when I'm watching a stream. It looks so much more crisp.
Bro, speaking of that, I watched a video. Blue put out a video, and he was playing the end of Andromeda, and he's on PC. Like Andromeda on PC, it's different. Like it's not. There's nothing like that on console. Andromeda on PC is like, yo, this looks fucking fantastic. So I sat there and I watched it. It's like a 45-minute video of the ending of that game. And I watched all of that shit, and I was like, yo, I should totally play Andromeda again.
Dude, speaking of Andromeda, like, you know, EA kind of released a lot of their shit on Steam. Yeah, It still goes through Origin, but, you know, you can buy it through Steam. Andromeda is surprisingly well-reviewed on Steam.
Because, I mean, it goes on Steam after they've made all of these patches and shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, and Steam is pretty good about, like, people doing, like, review bombing and stuff like that, like kind of like how Amazon does sometimes, where they're just like, "Oh yeah, y'all wilding the fuck out. Let's go ahead and fix this."
Yeah.
But yeah, I you know what, Andromeda is not a bad game, and I don't know why people don't like realize that like a lot of that.
Yeah, I think a lot of that shit is still, you see the reviews, but then Origin and Xbox, well, Xbox does a little bit, but like Steam is the only place where you can really see an actual review and it says very positive, overwhelmingly positive, or whatever, where you can really see it. And I think a lot of this stuff is still the vocal minority, to where the vocal minority was just shitting on Andromeda like crazy, but the people that were enjoying it were playing the fucking game. That was the same thing with Destiny. You would see like, why are these people playing? Yeah. There was a counter argument to that too, but like, why are these people still playing Destiny? Destiny sucks and whatnot. The people that's enjoying it are playing the fucking game. They're not on freaking Facebook.
And I don't want to have to break this to people, but I seen this. I seen this video of this guy who somebody leaked on Reddit.
Chronicles of.
No, someone leaked on Reddit
That's a good game.
information about the remakes of the Mass Effect remakes. And they are going to try in all three games, especially 2 and 3, to try to make the combat as close to Andromeda as possible that they could do in that engine. So if you ain't like Andromeda, be careful with these remakes, dog, because they add an Andromeda to these remakes.
But the combat wasn't what people were mad
Yeah,
about.
that's true. And supposedly there's in like 3 and stuff like that, there's some cut content that they're restoring. So that's going to be interesting. If all of this stuff is true, which apparently this guy has been leaking EA stuff before and it turned out to be true, that's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
You got anything else? And then I'll go to mine and we'll wrap up.
Yeah, that's pretty much been it. It's been super fun trying to do some raids, man. Trying to get those raids done.
I've never finished a raid in any game.
But I love the shit out of them in the first one. But I had time to play. You know, because Aiden was older, you know what I mean? But now I'm having a little bit more time to play since Riley's starting to get older, you know. But when they're like a newborn, it's just kind of like, can't do that shit.
Impossible, yeah.
I've been playing just the same 2 games that I've been playing. I play a little bit of Division, not a whole lot, Division 2. I even ran Pooh Bear through the beginning of the Division just to see if it might be something that she would want to play later or just play the game with Dad, you know, or everything. And she was just kind of like, oh, that's nice. I did play a small, very, very small part of what's the Grand Theft Auto Asia game? What's it called? Sleeping Dogs?
I believe so. Yeah,
that's a good game, and I have never finished it.
I have never even played Sleeping Dogs, but there is a part where she was stuck and she couldn't figure it out. She was like, "Dad, can you figure this out for me?" And I'm just kind of like, I played through. There was a part where you gotta roll up in a hospital. And like she just kept getting stuck because one, her shooting skills aren't that great. She plays The Sims most of the time. And you know, she didn't know like that dude with his back turned, just walk up and grapple him and you will take his gun. So like, I was just like, oh, that's what you do. You just, you know, is there a way that you can grab his gun that gets it to you faster so you can go hide and then shoot? So like I played that and it seemed okay, except for I have one problem with Sleeping Dogs. You could tell that game was not designed by anyone who has a real working knowledge of shooters.
Well, that game, from what I know, what I've played of it, it's more melee focused. It's more of a brawler than it is a shooter.
But this game was this part of the game that I had to help her get past was very shooter focused. And here's the thing. Every time I was in cover and I aimed at someone, when I actually, you know, like when you get ready to blind fire, where you're blind firing and then you go to like stand up and aim, it always like raised the reticle above their heads. So like that just kept frustrating the shit out of me. And I was just like, yo, you should try Division 2 because that's a real third person shooter and you won't feel this way. You know what I mean? So I play a little bit of that, but I've been playing a decent amount of Ghost Recon. I now have 29 hours, about 30 hours or so, 29, 30 hours in Ghost Recon. I still don't love it. There's things about it that I like over Division, but if you give me a game that you say, would you rather play Division or Ghost Recon? I'm going to choose the Division every time. The only good thing about Ghost Recon is like they're not bullet sponges. Like even the heavy dudes with the miniguns, 2 shots to the dome, he out of here. The first shot knocks his helmet off. The second shot puts him in the ground. That's the one. That's the one thing that I like about Ghost Recon, but it just takes forever to do anything in that game because all of the like you put on a mission is so far away. You got to get in the helicopter and fly all the way over there. Then you got to scout the area and all this. I'm like, fuck all this. I just want to shoot shit. That's been my thing. And so my cousin is just kind of capitulated to me. It was just like, we going loud? Yes, nigga, we going loud. All right, let's go loud. And that's but there's this one thing. I'm playing the assault character, and like you have like these things that you do to raise your levels. There's this one thing that I have not been able to pull off yet to get to the level 10, which is the max for the assault character, and I cannot figure out how to get this shit done. I've looked up YouTube videos. I've tried it on several different occasions. I cannot get this thing done. You got to kill 6 people while you're in your little special thing. And I just cannot get that shit done for some reason. It just doesn't work for me. So that's pretty much what I do when I'm not doing anything else. I just go in there and I'll do that. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much everything that I've been doing. I don't think there's anything else to say. Cam, you got something to say to the people?
Just thank you for having me on. Appreciate the both of you. I've been listening since the beginning, ever since your PGR episode. Of course, that started it off for me. It's good to finally be on here with you guys. I've played with you played games with you guys, and it's finally good to just be on. Appreciate you both. If there was a higher tier of Patreon, I'd do it because that's the way that I know to show my appreciation. So thank you both.
Because of the COVID, and I haven't really been painting much because I don't want to paint and then I have to like glove up and like protect myself while I'm making a painting. Would you rather me just send you a shirt?
I'm cool with that.
Okay, let me know which one you want. Let me know which one you want. If you want, we'll send you the link. You just tell me which one you want and give me your deets, and I'll get your shirt.
All right.
I need to make a Scarcasm shirt that looks all metal, like a scar where it says Scarcasm like this.
I know I'm plotting. I want a black Meepo shirt. I know I want a black Nepo shirt or a gray, a black or a gray Nepo shirt. And then I want another Scarcasm shirt. I have on my Scarcasm shirt right now. I want another Scarcasm shirt, but in a different color.
Yeah, so, and I love that we can wear our own shirts because like the like being in the band and stuff, like it was like uncool to like to wear your own shirts, and I always thought that was dumb. You know because I was like, man, I made this thing. It's what I like. Why can't I wear it? This is a badass shirt. You know, I made something that I would wear, but I can't wear it because people think I'm lame because I'm wearing my own band shirt. But I'm also like advertising my band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, man. Yeah, I might. What I might do is I might get a black Scarcasm shirt and then a gray Nepo shirt. I think that might be the play.
Yep.
So, all right. So, and again, Cam, thank you. You're welcome on any time that you want to come on and just talk some shit with us. Even if it's not August, you let us know when you want to be on, and we got you, dog.
All right.
And so I think that's it for me. We're gonna come back next week. Do we know who's gonna be on next week?
I can look at it right now. Actually, let me do it on the computer. But it should be I'm pretty sure we have a one for next week, which is actually a Wormhole.
Okay. Wormhole it is. All right, so we'll be back next week for August. Thank y'all for checking us out. We appreciate y'all. Go do the things. Go to the YouTubes, the Patreons. I actually put shout out to Layback. I actually put Layback's YouTube channel in the show notes. I'm almost like I'm 99% certain that I put that there because he's doing a lot of content from his PlayStation, and then like in for the fans of the show that's been around for a while, if you're not in the Discord, then you don't really know this. In a couple of weeks, I'm trying to get Rashani on the show, and I don't think we should have an extra guest for when Rashani's around because he's just going to fill up the whole show himself. So So we're trying to get Rashani on the show. So we got Blue coming, Scott's coming back, and so him and Chase are going to talk about the white dude music again. That's not going to be fun for me, but I'm sure it'll be fun for y'all. Did you ever get Max? Did you ever talk to Max?
I haven't talked to him actually. But yeah, I'll hit him up and see which day he wants to do.
Yeah, you should get Max on with Scott.
Okay.
That seems like a good thing for like y'all and like
For y'all.
I'll let y'all have that one that day. But again, thank y'all for checking us out. We'll be back next week with more August. Peace out to the Warriors, yo.
Later.
I like that shit, yeah, boy. Look, I'm telling you, Whoa. All right, I ain't gonna talk.